Welcome everybody to the test review for test 3. Okay, we're winding up the end of the semester. We're packing a lot of material in here, and I just want to make sure that you have everything you need to move forward. So if you missed class this morning, or if you're in my Wednesday night class and you missed Wednesday night, please pay attention to this review, and please check announcements on Blackboard. So basically, we're going to start off with Chapter 8. What is social stratification? That's going to be PowerPoint number 6. So what I'm going to be doing, how we're going to proceed with this review, is I'm going to emphasize PowerPoints with information on them. That's not to say that you don't have to go back and read the material or know the concepts that we covered in class, but this review and my direction of you toward these PowerPoints should constitute your knowing where to go to look for the information for the class. Okay? So, slides 6, 7, slide 8, 9, and then we're going to skip over, down to slide 12, you know what a meritocracy is, 13, 14, and then we basically skip down here. We're not doing a comparison. Then skip down to slide 21. Slide 23 provides us with important information about meritocracy. Okay, that's that's the thesis. Slide 24, slide 25, slide 26, slide 28, slide 29 introduces Max Weber, slide 30, slide 31. Remember slides 33 and 34, we discussed the relationship between technology and stratification. And then slides 36 through, 36 through 41 provides us with a description of social stratification in the United States. Okay, please know something also about social mobility within a generation and between a generation, upward, downward, and sideways. Slides 42 through 45 review those for an overview of the class structure in the United States. Okay, and slides 46 through 50, well, slides 46 through 49 give us an overview about the effective class. And then, of course, 51, 52 give us the definitions of social mobility. 53 versus the end, which is slide 63, gives us a serious overview of some of the characteristics and correlates of social poverty, the lowest class in the United States. So you're going to want to review that information for that particular chapter. All right. Now next up is chapter 9. That is an overview of global stratification. Okay. Okay, so basically what we're going to want to look at is high and middle income countries. Slides 6, 7, and 8. High, middle, and low income countries. Slides 9 through 11 give us the extent of poverty, global poverty. Slides 12 through 16, we talk about some of the other correlates of poverty. And then we start to look at reasons why. Also know the term absolute poverty from your chapter. So then we look at correlates. Why? What's the deal with global poverty? Why is it a problem? And remember, we looked at two theories. You cover the correlates here. Modernization theory holds that all countries went through the demographic transition, and that all countries are, once they are given the tools to modernize, will do so. And then we had dependency theory, and that's to the end. That's the idea that poor countries are poor because they are ex-colonial powers. So please cover that for chapter 9. All right. Okay. Chapter 10 is a chapter on gender. Please review, and we talked about this briefly in chapter 6, the distinction between sex and gender. Know what gender stratification means, okay? Know that gender, we look at gender not only as a way that human beings are socialized, but in terms of social structures. So, basically what we're looking at, know what these terms matriarchy and patriarchy mean in chapter 9. Chapter 10 and 11 give us definitions of sexism and patriarchy. So from chapters, slide 12 through, slide 12 through 17, we're talking about gender socialization, okay? Gender socialization, okay? And then beginning in slide 18, we're looking at gender as a social structure. You know the effects of gender stratification on, for example, women's versus men's income, right? And then some of the problems: violence against women, violence against men. Please know in detail and in particular the correlates of sexual harassment, the two kinds. Okay, and some of the issues surrounding pornography. And then prostitution. Please also, from 31 to the end here, we do a theoretical analysis of gender. So that's going to give you an overview for chapter 10. Finally, chapter 11, our final chapter that we're going to be looking at in terms of test material, is a chapter on racial and ethnic stratification. Okay? Know what race is. Know what ethnicity is. Okay? Know that race is a socially constructed category based on what we call biological traits. A trait is something in and of itself has no scientific salience. So we're going to look at let's see, prejudice, slide 11 and slide 12. Review briefly the Bogardus social distance scale, slides 13, what we talked about in class. Slides 14 through 16 gives us theories of prejudice. Please review what prejudice is. Remember, prejudice is an attitude, whereas discrimination, beginning in slide 17, is a behavior. And it can be an individual behavior, or we can have institutional discrimination. So please review the meaning of institutional discrimination. Slides 20 through 22 give us 4 patterns. There are 4 patterns of interaction between minority and majority groups, starting with the most benign and going to the most lethal for the minority groups. Okay, so review those. And then 23 through the end of the chapter, basically slide 23 through I think slide 29, provides us an overview of the different characteristics, and we discussed these in class as well, different characteristics of these racial groups in the United States. So if you review this stuff and read the text and review the concepts in the book associated with these slides, you're going to do great. Best of luck to you, and please check the announcements section.